Many Flesh and Blood players ask the question, is it worth it to buy a Classic Battles Rhinar versus Dorinthea starter set? Just kidding, we're not actually doing it that way. We're not the professor. We can't be that cool. We don't dress as good as him. Sorry, professor, please don't hate me for making that intro the way I did. This, ladies and gentlemen, is Flesh and Blood's Classic Battles Rhinar versus Dorinthea starter set. It is Legend Story Studios' first entry into starter set box products, and it is specifically designed, as it says on the back, for new players. Literally designed for new players, and we are going to put it through its paces, talk about what's in this box, if it does serve its purpose, how the entire presentation and the decks play out, and what you're getting in this product, and if it's worth your time and your money. If you want the quick and dirty of my opinions on this product, I'll tell you this up front, and we'll dive in deeper. I think this product is a success on almost every level, and I do say almost. We'll talk about what I think it could be better made in the future. We'll talk about that here in a moment, but let's first of all talk about the packaging itself. The packaging is beautiful. It does have a light foiling on the front, which makes it alluring and makes you want to go over and pick it up off of the shelf. I do like that you have this sort of open book shape, which gives you this idea or this imagery of, reading through a story about these two characters who are fighting each other in the story, which I think is very cool. And I do want to point this out. I haven't seen anyone mention this yet. fabtcg.com/learn is a website that you can go to and follow along and learn a little bit about the game itself and how to play it, that sort of thing. On the back, you do see there's a portion that talks about Dorinthea, which is the warrior hero, and a portion that talks about Rhinar, which is the brute hero, and both of them are, of course, locked in bloody combat, as you are in Flesh and Blood. So let's go ahead and open this thing up. I cracked the plastic on either side, and then it's just as simple as not tearing the box wide open. This is a box totally completely made of paper, recyclable material, which I think is very cool. And when you open the product up, you have this little plastic, or a little paper, I should say, cardboard divider, which is actually holding the decks inside. And it's holding a few other things as well. So check this out. There's the two decks in there, as you would expect. This folds open, and you can kind of slide out one deck, which is packaged there, which is the Rhinar deck. You can slide out the other deck packaged here, which is the Dorinthea deck. Some very beautiful packaging overall on the outside, and it is sort of echoed on the inside as far as the art and the things that you're getting. Of course, inside this box, you are going to get two decks. These are Blitz decks, which makes them 40 card decks. In addition to those two Blitz decks, you are also going to get a large two-player paper playmat. This is not neoprene. This is very huge. There would be no way, and I know this was one of the things that was kind of hoped for by the community. There would have been no way for them to put neoprene playmats into this packaging and actually make it the cost of $49.99. It would have been just too expensive. But this folds out into a two-player playmat. It's far too large to fold out. Look, I could try holding it up. It is very functional, though. We'll put it that way. There was... So you see this? Do you see it? It's giant. Okay. There was a two-player neoprene playmat printed at the very beginning of the game when the game launched, and that is a carbon copy of what you see, what I showed you just a moment ago. Of course, that was neoprene. These are paper unfoldable playmats. So in addition to that, plus these two Blitz decks, you get a very cool looking Classic Battles story lore book. So this lore book, some people are going to be really into this. I am really into the lore of this game. I think it's one of the best aspects of this game. In fact, there's so many fun aspects of the game. The lore is one of them. And this booklet serves the purpose of actually telling you the story of what is going on. It shows you both sides of the story, which I think are very interesting, very cool. And this is just straight up something that you can read and enjoy, and then flip over and then read and enjoy from the perspective of the other hero. So you're getting the storylines for both. There's some art that you've seen on cards if you've already played the game, like for example Singing Steelblade. There's other art that is in the lore book, like there's the Dawn Blade itself that Dorinthea uses in Classic Constructed. But then there's new stuff, like all of this is, like those are images of characters that have only ever been talked about but never shown. And of course we have Hala, which is the mentor that you can find in this deck. So this lore book, some beautiful, beautiful artwork and some great storytelling that is tucked in there. Look at that. Look at that. It is incredible. So flip through this after you open the book. You can see some really, really cool stuff going on. There's Rhinar. In this lore book. Now, this is not a like fully bound like book that you can put on the shelf. It is more of just one of these pamphlet style things that you can keep, I guess, in a stack after they release more of these. And I do expect them to release more of this product with more of the heroes. So I went ahead and took the plastic off both of these Blitz decks. Again, you're getting two 40-card decks, and there was a lot of discussion, and these are all rainbow foil equipment. As you can see, there's a little bit of foiling on each of them. There was discussion on whether or not this product would be sort of supplementary in nature. It provides the capability for, you know, like good, powerful cards to be added to these heroes. There's a cold foil version of Rhinar, which is beautiful as always. Cold foil cards, one of the classic staples of this game, and there it is in all its glory is Rhinar. Rhinar, a 20 health, 4 intellect, brute hero, young. The question going into this product and not knowing anything about it was, is this going to be a product that is sort of designed to supplement these heroes already and also allow new players to kind of pick them up? So are they going to print a bunch of powerful cards in this that existing players want to go out and buy multiples of? Or is this going to be, you know, like a pure introductory product? This is a fantastic little insert card. There is the flip card. I was wondering if they were going to actually include this or not. It looks like they just have it in a different order. You do have a nice cold foil Bone Basher as well. Brand new weapon to this. Is it a good weapon? It's good for this, and that's what we're essentially talking about. And then a few other new cards as we go. Really cool looking Chief Rakuten. As well as a bunch of the cards in the actual set. Some of these are new, like Beast Mood, for example. All of these are reprints that we're looking at right here, and that's new as well, Wrecking Ball. So the question was whether or not they're going to print like a large, just brand new set of cards that you'd want to just all gobble up and put into your decks immediately and push the power level of something like a Rhinar, or if instead of that you're going to print a purely introductory product. And I would say we have more of the introductory product side of things than we do the print a bunch of power cards. I think that's a wise choice, because if you're trying to make a product that embraces the new player, that really shows the new player how this game functions, well, printing a bunch of like super powerful, intricate, complex cards, not necessarily a good idea, because you just get new players confused. I have taught a large number of players how to play this game, and after looking over the lists that you see here, these two Blitz decks, I think they did a really good job of printing cards that are easy to understand, that introduce the core aspects of the game. This is one of those examples. Dodge is a very simple generic defense reaction. It only blocks for 2, but this literally just teaches you when it can be played and how it can be played. There's nothing special about it. Honestly, Dodge is not really a good card in a lot of respects. It's not really a good card. It doesn't do anything except defend for 2. It costs nothing, which is good, but this is such an easy card to use to teach defense reactions and how they work. Honestly, defense reactions, one of the more confusing aspects of the game when you're first starting out learning how to play. But this product and those kinds of designs are all over this thing. This deck is fully built with just figuring out how these little interactions work so that you as a new player can totally pick up and understand how the game plays. Now, if you want to know how this deck specifically is supposed to be played, I am going to make a video on this deck and how to play the Brute Rhinar deck. So if you want to hit subscribe, then you'll see when that video goes live. But this is a perfect example, that card and this overall product, a perfect example of how this was designed really purely with the new player in mind. There are some new cards that are quite interesting, some that could easily go into, Blitz decks, like Pack Call, for example. A fantastic card that might just make its way into Blitz decks or make its way into Classic Constructed. But this is not what the set's about. The set is not about bolstering existing heroes and making them that much better so that you have to go out and buy 2 of these products so that you can play this in Classic Constructed. No, it's about a new player picking this up off the shelf, seeing these beautiful cold foils, seeing the really cool characters, and then trying the game out for themselves. Beautiful Dawnblade Resplendent, also in cold foil. You have the Mentor here, Hala. Glistening Steelblade, a new specialization, which is also a Majestic. And then just a variety of cards that we've seen, like back in Welcome to Wraith, Warrior's Valor existed, Sharpened Steel existed, but then we have new cards. This card teaches you how, attack reactions work, run through. And in fact, these 2 heroes are actually fantastic for teaching you many of the interactions in the game, the fundamental core interactions. Attacks, attack reactions, attacking with a weapon, defense reactions, things like that. I don't actually think there's not much that isn't covered with these. Defense reaction, blocks for 4, but you have to pay for this one if you want to use this. Absolutely fantastic. Also note this, defense reaction now has a symbol behind it, which I think is really, really cool. I think they should go through that. Instance, teaches you how instant works. Is this the most powerful version of Sigil of Solace? An instant played at instant speed gains you 1. No, it's not. But they're not trying to push the power level. They're trying to teach you how these interactions function. Give you the Quicken token, and then of course this is kind of nice. The fabtcg.com/op tells you how to find events near you after you pick up the game, and you also have Dorinthea on the front. Again, if you want to learn how Dorinthea and this specific deck, this Blitz deck, is played, check the channel. Over the course of next week, I will post a how to play on this specific deck so that you can have one for each of the 2 decks. You can learn how Dorinthea is supposed to be played and how Rhinar is supposed to be played. So overall, I think there's a lot of successes in this product. I think the product itself functions in a large part as it should. This is a great way to teach new players how to play, and it's a great way for 2 players who don't know how to play to pick up and figure the game out for themselves. The 2 things that really stick out to me as negatives with this product, there are 2 things. The first one is this. I think if we are considering this as a new player product, it is 100% okay to include a quick start rules guide 4-pager. You put a tiny little pamphlet, honestly, kind of like this. You put a tiny little pamphlet in there, and it just talks you through, like a variety of turns. Maybe like the first 2-3 turns of the game, and it tells you a few of the little intricacies, like turn order, things like that. Now, I do want to point out they do put on the box that you could go to fabtcg.com/learn in order to learn how to play. But if you just put it in the box, you don't have to force someone to pick up their phone and then look up how to play and then sit down, figure it out, and then talk kind of through with your friend how to play. Because then you're just like, well, you might as well just look up a YouTube tutorial, which, honestly, that probably links to the YouTube tutorial. I'll put it in here if it does. Nevertheless, I think you put a small little booklet on how to play that talks you through a few of the turns, and you're probably good to go. The other thing, and this is, to me, the bigger of the 2 things, the price tag on this is maybe like $5 to $10 higher than I would have expected for the product. Now, you're getting a lot of nice things. In fact, you're getting a 2-player playmat. It's a foldable paper playmat, but you're also getting these cold foils, and you're getting some really cool mentors. You're getting a lot of really cool things, including this lore book. Yet, the sticker shock price of $50 may turn people away before they even have the opportunity to give it a shot. That is worrisome. So I wonder in the future if there is a way to push this price down so that more players just look at this and go, oh, yeah, like it's a $40 thing. I get 2 decks. It's basically like $20 and $20. I could split this with a friend. $50, you can kind of say the same thing, but there's the sticker shock like mentality of price points that I think is a little worrying to this. That being said, I will provide the upside to this product. And I think what a lot of people may miss Not only is this a great way to teach new players how the game works, this is, in just a lot of respects, the perfect introduction to what Flesh and Blood is. That's a weird thing to say because, yeah, it's a game. You just play the cards, right? It's a card game. But it's more than that. All of the tentpole ideals that Legend Story Studios has for the game of Flesh and Blood are on display here. You have beautiful packaging. You have beautiful art. You have this aesthetic that is just fantastic. You have lore and characters that are iconic. And you can learn about those characters as you play through the game. Because it's not just about the game. It's about all of these ancillary things that also can hook you. It's not just about that and cool mechanics and beautiful treatments of cards. It's also about the iconic cold foil, which is quintessentially Flesh and Blood's like motif. If you show a cold foil of Flesh and Blood to someone, they go, whoa, I need to know more about that. That's a beautiful card. And they're right. It is. This product shows you all of that. It shows you how the game works. It shows you what the game looks like, how the game feels in your hand, how these cold foils intrinsically just make you want to collect them. There's collectability to this. Now, I should say, how collectible is a cold foil that it comes readily in a box that's not randomized? Is it that collectible? Perhaps not. These are going to be printed like crazy because new players should pick them up, and rightfully so. That being said, when you look at this, you can't tell me you don't enjoy seeing that, right? I mean, look at this. There is beauty in that. So it's not that it's about collectability, but it is kind of about collectability. It's about seeing and feeling that feeling of a beautiful piece of art on a card in a beautiful treatment. And this really accentuates what this product is about. It's about introducing a new player not just to a game, but to an experience. And so in that respect, I think this is a very big success. Minus those two small points, I think this product is quite successful. Now, if you already play the game of Flesh and Blood, should you pick this up? That's really up to you. Are you looking to teach new players how to play the game? If you are, this is a fine product to have on hand. Sit down, have them pick which hero they want to play, based on what they like, the way it looks, and then explain how the game works. Can you do that with other products that are already on the market? Yes, you can. You can do that with these. You can do it with these Blitz decks. These come with like shiny fancy things. They're 15 a piece. Okay, you can do that with these. You could also do it with this. The options are there. And I think that's a really big thing, is that this provides you another option, and it provides two people who have never played the game an option to pick them up and learn right away. These are fantastic if you already know how to play the game and you want to teach somebody else. This is fantastic if two players who have never played before, let's say you both like D&D and you're like, those characters look cool, it's got the fantasy aesthetic, I love that sort of thing. They can buy this, they can figure it out on their own, for the most part. Put in a little rules insert, I'm sold. So that is my feeling on this product. I think, by and large, a very successful product. I think one that you should consider picking up. If you're a new player, definitely do this. It's a fantastic product, and this game is incredible. Okay, if you are a returning player, the choice is yours. I think it's worth picking up and teaching people how to play. It's up to you if you want to do that as well. If you enjoyed this video, if you got something out of it, feel free to make that number go to that other number. And when the number goes to the number, everyone gets a little happier. As always, thanks for watching.